Hello, hockey, basketball, and soccer fans. My name is David. I thought I would start this video a bit before 1 on the afternoon of Saturday, 18th of November, 2023, North American Eastern Time. So it was a bit before 7 Central European Time. At this time, there was a game being played in Sweden between the Ottawa Senators and the Minnesota Wild. For 2 periods, the Wild had been leading the Sens 1-0. Before I get to that, I would go from west to east among Canada's NHL and NBA teams. We can review. So it's going to go to Canucks overall okay week from the Sunday to from Sunday to Thursday. Well, the week's not over, but definitely a mixed week. Fell behind the Isles in that second game. That second win, still ending up getting an overtime one. But Calgary Flames was a rough game. Casey Smith, the backup goalie for the Canucks, having allowed multiple ugly goals. Canucks were tired, lethargic, but you have to win those games. You got to find a way to grind out points. The Canucks cannot take for granted that they are where they are in the standings, or in the top 3 Pacific Division spot. So much later in the evening, the Canucks will be hosting the Seattle Kraken, and on Monday Eastern Time, it'll be the turn of the San Jose Sharks to fly in to Vancouver to play the Canucks. So it'll be very interesting time indeed. But again, it's going to be heavy divisional opponents. The only non-divisional opponent the Canucks will be playing for the rest of the month will be the Avs, and that'll be out in Denver next week on Wednesday Eastern Time. Now I'm going to scoot on over to Calgary and Calgary Flames. It's been a rather, so far, been a relatively good week. A slim win over the Habs in regulation, 2-1. Jacob Markstrom stood on his head in that game. So after a not so good road trip out east, just 1 point out of possible 4, it was time for Jacob Markstrom to shine. He did in the games on Tuesday and Thursday Eastern Time. So both wins. The one over the Canucks, very convincing. How that will continue, well, we'll have to see what happens. So later on Saturday, it'll be time for the Flames to host the Isles. Let's see how that goes. I'm going to head on up to Edmonton, to northern Alberta or central Alberta. It's been a very good week so far. Last weekend was a big win over the Kraken, followed by wins over the Isles, 4-1. And the Kraken was a slimmer win, 4-3 in overtime. Stuart Skinner, having played in all games, having been the starter in all games bar, against the Preds. And, that game that Jack Campbell played was not good. 5-2 loss to the Preds. That was the home one. So it's going to be a very interesting road trip coming up here. So, playing the Bolts on later on Saturday Eastern Time, and then next week on Monday against the Panthers, Wednesday against the Canes, and on Friday against the Capitals. So it's going to be a very important set of games. This could mean the Oilers season is done effectively. I know that playoff spots aren't clinched in November, but they can be. And also mathematically, playoff spots can't be lost in November either. But effectively, they can be. If the cap is just too big, 10 or more points, for instance, Oilers may be done. I still don't see a playoff appearance by the Oilers likely. McDavid and Draisaitl, when they're not cooking, when just either of them is not cooking, big problems. Very top-heavy roster, so it'll be very interesting to find out if against a Bolts team that has struggled a little bit, but still saw playoff action last season, will be for the Oilers. One where the figuratively speaking, where they end up, going hard, getting the goals, winning that game, or whether it be, figuratively speaking, the Lightning, the Bolts zap the Oilers. So let's see what happens in that. They're not going to go over to the Winnipeg Jets, and it's been a relatively good month. So far, there are 2 wins, 6-3 and 3-2, both in regulation. At home over the Devils and Sabres. So to complete the week, it'll be the turn of the Jets to host the Coyotes, the previous Jets iteration. Coyotes have been doing pretty well this season. Didn't think they would be in a playoff spot or anywhere near one, but here we are. Very competitive Western Conference and Central Division, so Jets have since last week's season, a record of 9-5-1-1, good enough for 20 points over 16 games. So that is a point percentage of 62.5. Will that continue? That'll be interesting to find out. Then it'll be a road trip out east. So it'll be going to be so next week on Wednesday and Friday Eastern time, so to the playing the Bolts and Panthers, and then return back, play the Preds at Bridgestone Arena before returning home to finish off the month, hosting the Stars and Oilers. Yeah, going to be very interesting to see that. So, Leafs have played the fewest number of games, I would say, among Canadian teams, and they will have. I mean, if the week were indeed, in English Canada, the week typically starts on Sunday and ends on Saturday. By that metric, the Leafs will have ended up playing just 1 game. It was a rather rough one. The Samsonov allowed 2 empty goals. The Leafs still managed to win that game in regulation with a big comeback in the third period. Yeah, the Leafs have to play better, but again, who knows? At least Sunday, Eastern time, it'll be an early morning game with respect for the Eastern time zone. It will be time to exploit a Minnesota Wild team that will have finished playing its game under 24 hours before. So now I'm going to go to the Toronto Raptors, and when it comes to the regular season, it was rough overall. So the Raps have lost 3 of the last 4. So that their game on Remembrance Day Eastern time, and then this week, if you consider on Sunday, Saturday, to have a slim win over the Wizards at home, but a slim loss under 24 hours ago against Celtics. And Marco Rossi scored a goal against Senators with at the 6-minute 22-second mark of the second period from Favor Zuccarello. Third period was about to get underway as I've been recording the video. So I'm going to just see. So go back to the Raptors. So we have a big loss over to the Milwaukee Bucks, 128-112. And also a slim one to the Celtics, 108-105, but it's not looking good for the Raptors. In the NBA standings, Eastern Conference, no team that has a record better than the Raptors is ranked lower than 10th. So it means the Raptors aren't even in a play-in spot. That ain't good. It may be that it's so embarrassing that there are going to be bigger changes. The pressure will just grow for bigger changes. Because not even getting into a play-in spot would be kind of embarrassing. So now I'm going to go to the Ottawa Senators and go to the November record. Has not been great. Senators played 1 game and were scheduled to and with one underway as of the time of recording. So it's 1-0. It was with 19 minutes 20 seconds to go in regulation. Sens have been outshooting the Wild 19-17, but the Wild having had a 1-0 lead. A slim lead, two Swedish-born goalies, Anton Forsberg and Philip Gustafsson, especially for the Sens and Wild, battling it out. I mean, I won't discount a breakthrough in the third period, but hard to know. But these Sens need wins and hadn't done great hadn't doing great this month before that game over in Sweden. Well, the Detroit one was an overtime win, but again, Korpisalo, a sieve in that game. In that earlier game, Sens will be leaving Sweden probably under 12 hours after they finish this game. I'm not sure if it's going to be an overnight flight, but definitely it's going to be. I mean, they'll have time off till next week, Friday, Eastern Time. So now I'm going to go with the Habs, and it's been a rough month and a rough week as well. So after a win, after a slim win over the Bruins, it was an overtime one, in which Sam Montembeault got the start. It was time to wait for the Canucks to roll into the Bell Center, and those Habs didn't stand much of a chance. Didn't play all that well. 5-2 was the result in favor of the Canucks. Jake Allen did not have a good, didn't have a very good game, but overall it was a rough week. A slim loss to the Flames 2-1, a slim loss to the Golden Knights 6-5. But all three losses this week were in regulation, so it'll be, later on, have not in Sweden be rolling to TD Garden to play the Bruins, so that'll be an evening Eastern Time game rather than evening Central European Time one. The Habs, as of now, find themselves 6th in the Eastern Conference wildcard race. So that means only 4 teams going into the games the weekend were below them: Sabres, Isles, Sens, and Blue Jackets. So it's hard. So the Sens end up winning their game. It'll be perhaps Habs drop down more. I'm not sure how the tiebreaker is going to work, but it'll be interesting to find out what it does. So definitely looking forward to that. Oh, looks like a goal here. Sens have tied things up, but it's going to be interesting to find out what happens in that game. Between. So, on that note, if you like the video, you can always click the like button. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please feel free to do so. If you also click the notification bell, you get more timely notification of videos that I put out. I try to put out videos at least every other week. On that note, I'm going to say, go Leafs go Raptors go Toronto FC go, and with respect to other Canadian national teams, whether basketball, hockey, or soccer, I say, go Canada go.